Imagine being on live television, in front of millions, and suddenly your co-guest hurls a drink at you, or you freeze under the studio lights as the world watches you fail to prove your own psychic powers. Or worse, you discover that the person you trusted most in show business has betrayed you, and you find out the same way the audience does from the news. Welcome to The Tonight Show during Johnny Carson's reign, a stage where careers could be made, destroyed, or forever scarred in just one segment. For 30 years, Johnny Carson was America's late-night king, smooth, sharp, and in control. But not even he could predict the nights when things would spin out of control. Some guests brought charm, others brought tension, and a few brought chaos so raw that decades later, we're still talking about him. Tonight on Hollywood Star News, we uncover 7 of the most controversial Tonight Show guests in history and the jaw-dropping moments that turned casual interviews into unforgettable TV disasters. It started with a political gamble. In the 70s and 80s, presidential hopeful Ronald Reagan walked onto Carson's stage during campaign season, something unheard of at the time. Late-night TV was sacred entertainment territory, not a political battleground. Reagan's folksy charm played perfectly on camera, but his visits blurred the line between performance and campaigning. Carson poked fun with satirical questions that left Reagan squirming, yet still smiling for the audience. Viewers were split. Was this entertainment or free campaign advertising? Ratings soared, but critics accused Carson of damaging the show's neutrality forever.
What do you think's going to happen? Now, you've been asked this question. I'm sure you knew that I was possibly bring it up tonight. There's an election coming up. You're out of politics now, but you're speaking, and as I say, you're going around the country. Do you envision a possibility, say in '76, if the convention, say, the conservatives took over possibly and got control of the electoral process, and they couldn't quite make a decision, and they came to you and said, Governor Reagan, we can't decide between Mr. Ford and Mr. Rockefeller. We're divided. Would you like to go to the White House?
You remember that answer I gave you about the CIA?
Yeah. Oh, come on. No, I won't buy it. I'm not going to buy it.
In 1975, British actor Oliver Reed made one remark too many. Sitting alongside Shelley Winters, he dismissed women's careers and suggested their place was in the kitchen. The studio gasped. Winters didn't just fire back with words, she hurled her drink straight into Reed's face. Carson, blindsided, scrambled to break the tension as crew members rushed towels to the scene. Winters doubled down, passionately defending women's rights on live TV. Viewers were split between applauding her stand and criticizing her temper. Reed never returned.
I really think that most women are happy in the kitchen, not because they like... I think that basically women are very happy in the kitchen simply because it means that they're feeding their children and looking after their man. I think that the time arises when a woman is put out to work. And I think then when she comes back and says, oh, I've had a heavy day, and the husband arrives at the same time, that's a bad deal because
Yes.
then they're going to fight who's going to cook and who's going to wash up.
Yeah.
I think that a woman's place is looking after her man and her children, and I think a man's place is to look after her, to protect her, and provide her with a little warmth.
Turned. Impressionist Rich Little made his career mimicking celebrities, and his Carson impression was uncanny. At first, Carson laughed along, but Little's imitation started appearing everywhere until audiences recognized it more than the real Carson himself. The host grew self-conscious, feeling upstaged by his own exaggerated double. Quietly, Carson banned Little from the show, a decision that lasted until his retirement.
This is Johnny Carson. Welcome to the Tonight Show. I am so old. Funny you should ask that.
1973 brought the most famous Tonight Show takedown. Psychic Yuri Geller came expecting easy publicity for his spoon-bending feats. What he didn't know was that Carson, an amateur magician, had teamed with skeptic James Randi to set a trap. Props were supplied by the show, eliminating any chance for sleight of hand. On air, Geller stalled, made excuses, and failed to produce a single convincing trick. Carson's deadpan response, "We'll give you as much time as you need in the next life," drew laughter, but the psychic's credibility never recovered.
Uri was telling me you don't feel what, strong tonight?
I don't
Is that
feel strong. It's not all tonight. Right now I'm feeling being pressed, and then I can't.
Well, I'm not trying to press you. I really not.
You're only telling me, well, will you try that or that? Many people are skeptical about these things. They see something happening, and then they want to see it closer and closer. There have been many people running and saying that they.
No controversy hit Carson harder than Joan Rivers' betrayal. She was his most trusted guest host, the one he seemed to groom as his successor. But in 1986, Rivers secretly signed with Fox to launch her own competing late-night show, without telling Carson. He found out from the press. The hurt was personal and permanent. Carson banned her for life, refused all contact, and never spoke her name on air again. Her show collapsed within 8 months, but the rift was never repaired. Charles Grodin's Tonight Show appearances began as a clever act. He'd play the irritated guest, nitpicking Carson's questions and feigning annoyance. At first, audiences laughed at the performance art, but over time, his jabs felt sharper, more personal. Some viewers began to believe he truly disliked Carson. Even the host's reactions turned strained. What began as innovative comedy became uncomfortably believable, and eventually, Grodin's visits grew fewer.
Book in the hardcover, you said $18.95, that's a lot of money for a book. And I said it's my whole life.
I thought it was.
You said, maybe if it's Mother Teresa's life,
Initially, until they stopped. Sometimes the controversy was subtle, but no less painful. Actor Raymond Burr, beloved for Perry Mason, endured a string of weight jokes during his Tonight Show appearances. Carson's writers leaned heavily into size-based humor, to the point where it overshadowed Burr's career achievements. After 2 uncomfortable visits, Burr never returned, though he continued appearing elsewhere. In Hollywood circles, it was understood that Carson had crossed a personal line. These moments revealed the thin, unpredictable line Johnny Carson had to walk every night, between comedy and cruelty, charm and confrontation, planned entertainment and total disaster. The Tonight Show thrived because of its warmth and spontaneity, but every so often, that same spontaneity produced the kind of unforgettable tension that still echoes through television history. If you want more deep dives into Hollywood's most shocking behind-the-scenes stories, stay right here on Hollywood Star News. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because you never know which moment from showbiz history we'll uncover next.